Hey guys, what's going on? It's the Block Bull right back now, bringing you the latest episode to the channel. Now, today we're going to visit the XRP chart, which is what I really do over on the channel because we do have the XRP and the XTC plans. The link below is at theblockbulls.com, so you guys can nab yourself a copy of this. If you purchase both copies, you will receive 10% discount. So these are exit strategies, okay? One, to protect your capital, and two, the optimum time to take profits. Now, let's get over to the crypto bubbles. This is a daily. It's not looking too good. We do have the FOMC meeting tomorrow, which is the interest rate. So this is probably the key day in an economic calendar in the whole of the sort of Q1. Okay, we did have the US elections in Q4 of last year. That obviously, the trajectory in the market was absolutely bullish. Everyone thinking, what, we're in a bull market. We had Bitcoin over 100K USD. We also had Ripple XRP as well, obviously trading up to challenging all-time highs. So yeah, it was very, very bullish towards the end of last year. But we have been topping out, and we've been coming down for several weeks now. In fact, let's just get over to it anyway. FOMC, that's FOMC meeting, Fed rate decision, 1 hour, 2 hours away. Okay, we do have this tweet out here as well. So, key points to watch in this week's FOMC meeting. So, interest rates, investors are 99% certain the Fed will hold the rate steady. So, that is what's expected. So, there's only a 1% chance interest rates are going to be cut, which would be absolutely mega bullish for crypto. So there's a 1% chance it's going to be absolute mayhem. Now, there is a slim possibility this can happen because, as you know, Donald Trump is basically embarking on this sort of tariff war. Okay, with the rates with China, Canada, Mexico, and I do believe a lot of these tariffs do come into effect on the 2nd of April. So the FOMC, well, the Fed chair, the US Federal Reserve, have basically said they will take a wait and see approach. And that was in the last time they met up to announce that interest rates would be paused. However, if interest rates are going to continue to be paused as expected, we will be looking at the Fed dot plot, which is basically a forecast of whether or not we will be cutting rates in the future and how many times those rate cuts are expected to come. So if there's going to be 3 cuts, obviously this is going to be bullish for the markets. 2 cuts is neutral. 1 cut or less could trigger downside risk. Now, the fact is, because we're already expecting the rates to be paused, it's already priced into the market. So any sort of slim possibility with this Fed dot plot forecasting that they're going to be sort of more than 3 interest rates cuts this year, this will be absolutely bullish. So again, we'll also be looking at Powell's press conference as well, which usually takes place half an hour after the Fed meeting and once the interest rate decision has been publicly announced. So that's usually 2 p.m. New York time. So that's 2 p.m. tomorrow. And then half an hour later, you'll obviously get the chair, Fed, Jerome Powell, coming out and answering any sort of journalist sort of questions. Okay, so this is where we are now. So let's dive into the XRP chart. Now, what I've marked on the sort of XRP chart here, this is a weekly time frame. Okay, and these yellow sort of vertical lines up and down your screen here, these are from the Bitcoin halving. So every 4 years we get the Bitcoin halving. We all know this. Common knowledge if you've been in the crypto industry for a while. So again, yellow lines. And then what we're also doing here is just marking out 48 weeks after the halving. Usually we see the sort of interim top. Okay, so this was the 2017-18 cycle. We got 1 impulse, 2 impulse, and then we basically traded negatively for 6 months before we got that final sort of third impulsive move. Okay, so that wasn't quite the top. However, in the previous cycle, 48 weeks, this was the top. Okay, which is very, very interesting. And it's funnily enough, we are currently around that sort of 48-week mark now from the Bitcoin halving last year, which was around the 19th, 20th of April of 2024. So we're around that 48 weeks now. Now, historically, like I said, this has been a good time to take profits on XRP. So, history doesn't always repeat, but it often rhymes, guys. So, again, this is why we've got to proceed with caution with XRP. Now, let's dive into the sort of daily time frame just to see where we're at. And what I'm going to do is go onto the candles here. We did mention as well in yesterday's video that XRP, well, it was actually an X tweet that I posted out. So we've been trading in this sort of range here. You can see these sort of highs coming in, and we topped out around sort of beginning of December. We actually placed the sort of local, sort of most recent high around sort of January, 4 weeks later, and then we've just been consolidating. So this has been trading in this consolidation range for approximately 106 days. Okay, 106 days we've been trading in a sort of boring sort of price action ultimately. So something has to give, and it's likely it's going to give tomorrow based on what gets announced. Now, if the market is expecting the interest rates to remain the same, 99% chance they will. I do expect that to basically sort of start tanking the market. Okay. Now, the reason why I say that is because what I'm anticipating now is the market to react and basically announce an emergency Fed meeting after tomorrow's Fed meeting. Okay. Now, typically, what tends to happen is this is going to be a reactive move from the Fed. Okay, so what I expect to happen is interest rates to remain paused. The market could potentially tank. Yeah, could come falling down. It's not just XRP. This is going to be everything. This is going to be Bitcoin, Ethereum, the rest of the altcoin market. There's going to be a lot of fear and uncertainty because, like I said, Donald Trump will be imposing these tariffs on the 2nd of April. So we're going to have sort of negative news from tomorrow's Fed meeting. Then the tariffs are going to be imposed from the sort of 2nd of April, and it's going to absolutely capitulate the markets even further. Now, that is probably when Fed is going to basically announce there's going to be an emergency meeting. At that point, that will obviously rocket the markets up into an upwards trajectory, and that will basically start phase sort of 2 of 3, in my opinion. So we could look. I don't know how far we're going to come down. I'll cover that in another video, but it's likely the 200-day moving average is going to get caught, okay, which is the sort of red line here. So that would be my sort of bet there. I would be currently the 200-day moving average. It's a lagging indicator, but currently we're looking at around $1.68. So you could have entries around $1.68 for XRP before we start moving to the upside. So yeah, like I say, Fed meeting could be negative. That's enough to tank the market. We've got 2nd of April. That could be enough to tank the market. However, once we get that sort of mini recession, if you will, that sort of final flush out in the market, phase 2 will then begin. Once phase 2 begins, I would expect the catalyst to be an emergency meeting, guys, is what I'm saying. And that will basically send the whole market to the stratosphere, guys. And, there's no coming back after that, guys. It will absolutely, XRP will be in double digits at that point. And I expect a big turnaround as well because usually emergency meetings are announced historically anywhere between 2 to 6 weeks after the Fed meeting. Okay, so if you've got a Fed meeting tomorrow, we could be looking at anywhere between 2 to 6 weeks after that. Okay, so at the latest we're probably looking at the end of May, okay, before an emergency meeting, and that would coincide with the interest rates to be cut because they are expecting, probability wise, for interest rates to be cut at the beginning of May, 6th, 7th of May. So there's a lot to play for now, but we just need to basically take one step at a time with these charts, which is why we cover these charts on a regular basis or on the channel, mainly XCN. Okay, but yeah, guys, that is pretty much the XRP chart for today. Make sure to like, share, comment, do what you got to do as always. And if you do need an XRP plan, make sure to visit the link down below, theblockbulls.com. That will have you covered, guys. Anyway, take it easy. I've been the Block Bull. The Block Bull is over and out.